I'm all talked out about Petra. I just get little residual recollections of her. I'm hollow. I'm hollowed out for the holidays. Yeah. I was really looking forward to a nice gift for Petra and a nice warm evening together after exchanging our gifts.
She dropped me off at the studio. Like, we spent the day together in Boston, and I got a weird vibe all day, and I couldn't tell if I was just being annoying or if that she just, I don't know, wasn't into me, but I interpreted it as like I'm being annoying, so that's why. But which is kind of like what the last like year and a half of my relationship with the other girlfriend was like, is she just didn't want to be with me anymore, but she couldn't break up with me because she's afraid to be alone, so instead she just acted mean to me all the time. And but yeah, so she dropped me off and she pulled up and she's like, all right, see ya. And I was like, bye. And I could tell it was like, just like, get the hell out of the car, see you later. And so I was like, all right, I'll see ya. And she was like, by the way, it's not gonna work. And I was like, all right, that's fine. I was like, I don't hate you. I was like, don't worry about it. See ya. And I got out of the car. I was a little bit like, oh boy, too bad. You know, rejection hurts a little bit. But like, I came up here and I was just kind of like, and I like leaned on the chair and I felt like I was gonna cry. And then like this little tiny, like half a teardrop, like came out. And like by the time I got here, like it was totally evaporated. It was just the most minuscule teardrop, and then I was all done. I just couldn't cry anymore.
Catholics have First Communion when one is initiated into the church. When one, for the first time, they have a confession, and they take the Blessed Sacrament, and they ingest the body and blood of Christ. It's an initiation into the church versus baptism, and it's a sacrament. Two sacraments, confession and communion.
I was your crutch. You lent on me until I broke. Thank you. I am a loser. I have no car. I have no home. I avoid real work whenever possible. I just want to make art. I have not gotten laid in a year. Could these be the reasons why?
You know, she did a drawing. I was telling her when we first met, I was kidding her, loneliness is my lover. And she sat in her studio one night, obsessed about me. And she drew me and my lover, loneliness, naked. Loneliness has me by the hand, and in my other arm I have a big pile of notebooks and books. I look incredibly sad. And she looks kind of ominous. She's taking me off somewhere. I guess we're going somewhere to make love. And then she wrote behind the drawing of the two figures over and over and over again, loneliness is my lover. Loneliness is my lover. God.
Well, there are the relationships of the water that seeks its own level. And that's terrific. And a lot of people deserve one another. As for myself, I've never had a successful love relationship. I don't think that's for me in life. It's a source of sadness for me. I think because I'm odd. I'm too odd.
Every girl I've ever gone out with has dumped me. I've never dumped any girl ever in my whole life. And so, like, you know, sometimes you fall into that trap where you think about, like, what's wrong with me? What did I do wrong? But now I don't care. And so I just think that I'm just, like, really just complicated and hard to deal with, so that's why. So this is my personal ad, and it goes, complex individual with wide open heart seeks woman who can handle the truth.
Well, we had dinner. We've been friends for a long time. She talks to me about everything. I talk to her about everything. And toward the end of the evening, sitting on her bed, she just kind of walked toward me on her. She was sitting up in kind of a yoga posture. Somehow she was able to move across the bed, sitting that way, and next thing I knew, her face was about 3 inches from my own. She was saying how good it would feel to have me just snuggle up against her all night long. Which I respectfully declined that opportunity.
I think that I'm destined not to have a relationship. I think that it's my destiny to be alone, I think. Because I don't know, there's just like, I guess I'm just too self-absorbed or something like that. I mean, I love people, I love everyone, but like, I don't know, I just can't seem to, like I had this one relationship, but the whole thing ended up being a farce in the end. Like, I've dated lots of girls, but nothing, there's never any like passion, like, I don't know, they just couldn't deal with me or something like that.
I don't know, I'm kind of sad. I'm rather sad with life and disillusioned and world-weary, a little bitter perhaps. I have trouble finding joy.
Petra told me goodbye, she didn't remember telling me goodbye. She was so drunk. It's real great to have a relationship with somebody. Every time you try to discuss the things you had differences about, they remember about 50% of it.
She has a hard time being alone. She's really afraid to be alone, and that's not really a problem I have. I like to be alone lots of times. Like, I like to be social and be around people, but sometimes I just scoot and need to be by myself. And when you're with someone who's really needy and wants you to be there all the time, and you try to explain to them that you need to be alone, and they interpret it as you don't want to be with me and you don't like me or something like that, when it's really has nothing to do with them at all. It has totally to do with me, the fact that I just need to be alone, like for myself.
I don't think things look good at all. I find the common ethos of Western society at this point is the materialism is it's daunting. It's beyond the pale. I think money is making money. Maybe that's always been that way, at least since the turn of the century. It's just that it's driving in a nervous way toward a kind of emptiness.
Painting is a process to create life, and so is sex. Sex is also a process with the result creating life. So, these things have kind of combined, and so this painting, as I was making it, I started to become aware of what it was about, and so eventually I ended up having this blank piece of paper on my studio wall, and so I'm creating. So I took some white paint and just made it look like a cum shot, but trying to make it look a little more real, I added a little extra of the real stuff to it, so it kind of mixed up with the paint a little bit and made it all kind of crusty and convincing looking.
Petra had lapses in her memory. I'd say, you remember saying goodbye to me, and walking away smiling, going out onto the dance floor and dancing with your hands over your head. No, I don't remember that. It's kind of tough. So it's a catharsis for her now, is to get incredibly drunk and just do whatever, just respond to her impulses in a given moment. It's a horrible place to try to have a conversation.
I fear for the world. I fear godlessness. And I'm not talking about the wacko fundamentalists either. I'm talking about living a life that's spiritual.
When I started writing all over this wall about, before, it's all painted out now, but I'd written like all kinds of stuff about relationships and sex and all kinds about myself and all kinds of things. And at the same time I started working on this painting, and I very quickly knew that it was about my penis. And I had this, because I had this whole rush of sexual energy. Like I just felt so horny, like just insanely horny. Like I was just like, my groin hurt, and just like, I just masturbate all the time. And like, and whenever I did, it would just like, I never shot cum so far in my whole life. Like for this like month-long period, I just like, and I felt the peak, like the beginning of it, you know, it was kind of like, you know, subtle, and I started feeling it more and more, and then like the middle, like I felt like, you know, it was maybe like a 3-day period where I was just like, whoa, just like, oh my god, like losing my mind. Like I was totally like, I was like a woman who has like PMS, and when their hormones are rushing and they're just like all irrational and like just flipping.
When I was a kid, my God, Joan of Arc, that little warrior saint, people fighting for what they believed in and standing up, paying the price, taking responsibility. That was glorious. That doesn't seem to be available. Kids are thinking, well, how much money am I going to, how much education I'm going to get, what they're being pushed to be competitive, not in a healthy way, but in what can I garner for myself, a kind of egoism.
She spent that day getting more and more tense and frightened, and I spent the day feeling more and more open and alive. And then we came together at the party, and guess what? Those two energies don't come together very smoothly. Fear and openness. Just not natural sidekicks.
Without dreams, children are old before their time. That is very frightening to me. That really is frightening because it indicates depression.
Tomorrow, I'm not going to be upset about this tomorrow. And I woke up and I wasn't. I got up and I smiled all day. I went to work, and I just was so happy all day at work, had a good day at work, you know, and just felt good about myself because, you know, like I was, at first, you know, when I was like, came up here and I almost cried, I was like, I did the, what did I do wrong? Like, what's wrong with me? Why wouldn't someone like me? But then I was just like, too bad, you know, like, they're the ones that lose out because I think I'm great.
The dream. Everyone has to have dreams.
I think she likes Jeff, though, the piano player. I know she does. It's obvious.